Hello everybody, how you doing? My name is Melody, as you know. Okay, that's odd. Welcome everybody to the Teacher Show, and thank you so much for joining me for this episode. And I guarantee you guys, this is going to be one of the most incredible collaborations that I've done. It is with an incredible friend of mine. His name is Dhliwayo, and he's gonna get time to introduce himself to you guys, but I promise you, you're gonna love him. And Glenn,
yes.
Welcome to Cape Town.
Thank you, Melody. It's an amazing place.
It is, right? By the way, he's just passing through Cape Town. He's on his way to China. He's doing school that side, and he's coming from our home country, Zimbabwe. So he just passed through just on a high test, just to chill and chow money, because some people got money to chow.
You know?
Yeah. So I'm really, really excited to just be with him. He's about to actually get a flight, and it was just so awesome and incredible to just spend time with you, Glenn. We talk a lot, but we talk online, but just being able to see you and being able to tap into your mind and just chill with you has just really been awesome.
It's been awesome for me to be here as well. And one thing I like about talking to you is that a lot of time I talk to a lot of people that tell me that I speak so fast, but with you I've met a match. So
hello.
So I'm really in my comfort zone right now.
Wow, that's awesome. And I hope you loved Cape Town. It's a beautiful city.
It is a very beautiful city, but besides that, I've been resting a lot because I felt like I was very close to having a fatigue and a burnout, so I ended up taking a lot of time out, and of course I had a few days to see the city. It's an amazing place, it's an amazing thing to see you in person, partner.
Oh, thank you
very
so much.
Amazing.
Wow, by the way guys, this is literally our second time meeting up. This just goes to show you that you can really meet lifelong friends online, and Glenn has just been such an incredible support structure to me, and I call him partner because he's actually my accountability partner. And we're actually going to be talking a little more on that because we want to get people to understand the concept of what it is to have an accountability partner, or to have somebody else accounting to you, and in terms of productivity, how does that help you to meet your goals and to just basically make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. But before we get into that, Glenn, I've got a couple of questions for you. All right, describe the color yellow to somebody who is blind.
Okay. I'll try and explain it from an engineering perspective. So because I'm an engineer, and I'll talk about it from the color spectrum. I see you. So it's the color that comes after there's red, orange, yellow. So it's the third color on the color spectrum. Anyway, enough of that. So I think yellow is a bubbly color. It's a color I would really associate with your personality because it's an out there color. It's very expressive. It's a bright color. It's to me, when I see yellow, I see a lot of happiness. You put a lot of kids in preschool and nursery school in a place and ask them to draw the sun, for example. They'll paint it yellow because yellow is the color that supports life for me.
He can write a book about the color yellow, guys. I'm telling you. By the way, he's a speaker. He's a speaker, by the way, so that's why. Yeah, but it really does chase away the blue. That was just, to break the ice. And tell me one interesting fact about you that I do not yet know.
Perhaps it's the fact that I almost became a pastor, and a lot of people do not know about that because I literally ran away from it. So after my advanced level, that is my high school. I worked for a time at Zayoja headquarters. And so I used to do a lot of preaching and a lot of teaching at church at my local assembly in Highfield. And so one day I preached at the headquarters of Zayoja Forward in Faith. It was during the morning devotion because every day before work we used to do that. So I volunteered to preach. And that was like almost the end of the culmination of the process because almost each time I preached, people would come to me and call me evangelist, pastor, and all these. And
we do that a lot.
Flowery names, So one day I preached at the headquarters, as I had told you, and I went back to my workplace. The funny thing about that is that this place, a lot of pastors work there, or bishops and all. So they came to me. One of the pastors called me. He was not there, and he said he wanted to see me. I went to the reception, and he said, "I heard you preach very well today." And I'm like, "Yeah." Then he says, "Would you want to be a pastor?" Like,
Wow.
no. And he says, why? Because, and I said, because I want to be a medical doctor. And he says, who told you that God doesn't call doctors? And so it went on. And the basics of it is that at some point, if I hadn't really run away, if I really didn't want to continue with my education as such, I would have become a pastor very easily. It's not because people were forcing it on me as well. It's also because I just genuinely wanted to be one as well.
Yeah, and he's really a solid Christian guy. He's a very, very solid guy. I really respect that about him.
So after that, I went to university, and that's when I fell in love with politics and governance. And
please tell us a little bit about how you ran as one of the youngest independent candidates in Zimbabwe. Tell us just a little bit about that.
I think
and why? What made you do something like that? He's a groundbreaker, basically.
So I think my life has it has had so many interesting turns, and one of them is the way I discovered how I had an interest in politics and governance and how and leadership basically.
Yeah.
So I finished my A levels in 2007. After my high school and the period just between high school and university, I took a transition year. It was 2 years actually. Not because I wanted to, but because I couldn't find money to get into university. So when I finally did, I felt like I'd lost out on a lot of time and I had so much to catch up with. So I just literally hit the ground running. So when I got to university, my first year, I was staying in the halls of residence. So we were called for an election, and they were choosing the halls of residence chairperson. So the person who was conducting the elections asked if anyone wanted to be. To my surprise, I was the only person who raised my hand, and by default, and that's how I became the hostel chairperson. I was the first year ever to become that. And when the dean of students heard about that, he told me that he wanted to change it, but he felt like, let me just leave it like that, because it wasn't really allowed. It wasn't compliant with the Ordinance 15, which is basically what governed student behavior on campus and student activity on campus. So after that, I think I realized how much I had to offer in terms of leadership, and I realized how much I love working with people and being the solution bearer to people's problems. And so I literally went on a trail. I became the class rep. I literally held every position you could think of on a campus setup. I became the class rep of my school. I became the first second year ever to become the SRC president at my university. And at some point I also became the sub warden, and this one is very special to me because the school had to change its laws, its bylaws, for me to become a sub warden when I was the first year. So
that's powerful.
My dean invited me and said, we are doing interviews for sub wardens, and I told him, I do not qualify for that because according to the ordinance, it's only second years and those that are above second year that qualify for that. And he says, don't worry, we'll change that. So the following morning I saw there was a notice board there was a notice on the notice board outside, and it said that first years were allowed to apply, and I knew in that moment that was actually going to be my position. So that one was something that I really cherished, and I still cherish it up until now, because it was an affirmation from someone who had really worked a long time with young people. He had extensive experience with working with youths, and for him to pick out my ability to lead and serve was important to me. So that's how I became interested in politics. And almost every other time on campus, people kept telling me, you know what? You're a square peg in a round hole. You do not fit here. You're not meant to be an engineer. And I kept on insisting to people that, you know what, I'm just going to go through with this, and when I'm done, I'm leaving engineering. And to my surprise, I'm now doing a master's in engineering. He's doing
his master's in engineering. But you know what I'm really picking up from your story, Glenn, is that God is a God who is no respecter of protocol. He's basically saying that there were a few laws and rules and regulations that were changed for him to enter into a specific position. And we might be talking to somebody right now who probably is in a situation where they're thinking, I do not qualify. Well, let me tell you something. Things can change just so God can place you in a system where he needs you.
Thank you,
and as we are rounding up, because he needs to catch his flight, I'm gonna ask you a very interesting question, and this is specifically for my girls out there, the ladies of this channel. I love the ladies. So Glenn, give us 5 traits every woman of destiny should possess.
Okay, So, the first and important thing for you to understand is that every woman out there is a woman of destiny.
Woo.
You might not know what you're called out to do. So the first thing that you have to do is to understand your purpose.
Okay.
And your calling.
That's right.
So every woman of destiny must be able to know precisely what their calling and purpose in life is.
All right.
So that's number one. Number two, you have to understand how you're going to be of service to the people, and it ties to purpose. So sometimes people ask, how do I discover my purpose and how do I find it? Because it's a very difficult thing. It's easy for us to sit down here and say you should know your purpose, you should know your calling, and we are still in the process of having clarity about it. But the important thing,
journey.
Exactly. So you're exactly touching on my second point. For you to be able to understand your purpose, every woman of destiny must be an active person. By active, I mean you should be out there in the world. You should be, if it's a church, you should be seeking to serve in different departments. It's because when you start doing certain things and different things out there, you begin to become more alive to what you really are called out to do. You do not just wake up and you're hit by a ball and an epiphany happens and you realize, oh, I was called to sing. If you're not going to go out there and grab that microphone in church and start singing, you won't know you won't know your gift and your calling. If you're not going to step up and start teaching and preaching, for example, you won't know that you're gifted as a teacher. So every person who wants to be a person of destiny, if you want to be a woman of destiny, which I've told you are, you have to go out there and start doing.
That's right.
You have to be an active person.
Okay.
Number three, you have to have clarity about the people that surround you.
Hello.
The people that speak into your life.
That's right.
This is something you cannot dice with. And this is a lot of times, especially with women, you just go with the flow. And you shouldn't do that. If you're going to be a woman of destiny, pick out people.
Wow.
Pick them out.
Come on.
Go to people for different reasons that are in line and in sync with your call.
All right.
So what do I mean by that? Your friends and your associations should not be people you just meet in class and then they become your friends, or people you just sit next to in church and they become your friends. You have to be very deliberate and intentional about the process. For example, me and her, we know that the foundation of our friendship and our relationship is the fact that we are game changers and we want to change the world. We are destiny people and we feed off each other. She gives me energy, I give her energy, and we're not just friends on our own. We have a group of people we belong to.
Our tribe. Special shout out to our tribe.
Our tribe, KPIs.
Simba. KPI, we love
exactly.
you.
So these are the people that you go back to when you're in need of energy, when you want to be refueled. And so if you have people around you that cannot speak to your purpose and cannot speak to your destiny, you are sabotaging your destiny.
Wow, that's powerful.
And you are going to be surrounded by people who are taking you away from your destiny. Instead, what you should be looking forward to are people that are coming in your life and aligning your destiny. And people who are going to come and sharpen. That's why the Bible says, as iron sharpeneth iron, so does a friend sharpen the countenance of his friend. So you need to find people that are going to sharpen you.
That's right.
The fourth thing is when you come to how you handle your resources. Resources, and so someone is telling me and asking me perhaps in their mind now that what resources are you talking of? You realize that your time right now is a very valuable resource that could actually change your life. So how we manage our resources will separate us from many other people. In fact, that is one of the most important thing that distinguishes winners from people that are not going to make it in life.
That's right.
How do you make use of your time? How do you make use of your resources, what you have right now? You know, so when I'm talking of resources, I'm talking of things like your time. I'm talking of things like your money.
All right.
And
your money.
It's important, especially when it comes to women, because the stereotype out there is that women are more impulsive than men. They don't think out, they don't think through their spending, for example. And this should not be the case with a woman of destiny. And these are just simply stereotypes, and do not reinforce them in your life. Do not conform to them. And you should be one of the few women out there that is making a bold statement to other men out there that these stereotypes are not true. How? Plan out your money, how you use your money. Don't just buy something because you've just come across it. And this is the most important thing I'll ever say on this show, Melody.
Yeah.
What are you investing in? Because the heart lies where you put your money.
Come on.
Where your treasure is, your heart lies there. So where do you invest your money the most? I'm not saying it's not okay for you to be investing in your fashion, in your red bottoms, in your hairstyles, your Brazilians. It's okay for you to look good, but have an organized way of investing into your destiny. How are you buying books? For example, with Melody right now, we are using a camera that she has. And what tools of the trade are you buying with your money?
All right.
If you're good in fashion designing, for example, you're better off investing your money and buying a sewing machine. So you start being in control of your process of production, for example. There's so many other things that you could be doing with your money. For example, you want to learn how to handle your finances, invest in buying books on finances. You want to become a powerful orator, a good speaker, buy communication books. So you need to be able to understand how you're going to use your money and your time. And that is going to set you apart from other people. Number 5. Personal growth and continuous development. I share this with a lot of people that I talk to almost on a regular, because I believe that so many people have come to a point where they have been made aware of their potential. You know, and they've even shown the world what they're capable of doing. I mean, they've arrived at a certain stage and they stopped there. They became complacent and they thought that was the best that they could become. But if you're going to be a woman of destiny, which I said you are, you have to continue pushing boundaries. You have to continue interrogating them and saying, okay, fine, so I've come here. What else can I do?
Come on.
How else can I improve myself?
Glenn, I truly believe that you were not just speaking to me, but you were also speaking to somebody out there. And I hope that you were stirred up. And after that conversation, you now know the kind of environment that you need as a woman of legacy, a woman of destiny, and the kind of people that you need to surround yourself with. It has been awesome hanging out with you.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much for being a part of the Teacher Show. And guys, I am going to leave Glenn's socials on the description box below. Make sure you check him out. Make sure you like his page on Facebook. Go on his Insta. Just all of his socials. Go and check him out. And I really believe that your life will be blessed and your life will never be the same again. And next time that you're in Cape Town, Glenn, we have to have you back on the show. He's a friend of the show, guys. And we're just so incredibly grateful for your being here today.
Thank you so much, Melody, and thank you for sharing your audience with me. They're amazing people, and thank you for taking them through this journey of equipping them. And I'm happy you're making a difference in life. It's good to be your friend.
Oh man, I like this guy. Guys, it's a wrap. Goodbye.
I finished my A-levels in 2007 and
cut. You got a little thing on your beard. I don't know if it will show us a little.
Whoa. You should put that on the blue. What do you call that?
We should put it
on the what's this? Those
bloopers.
Exactly.
I'm gonna put this on the bloopers.
Yeah.
The little thing.